What's going on, y'all? Gazering 2K sitting here next, well, not sitting here, but virtually sitting here next to Steuben. Stubby, how you doing, man? It's a weird day. It's a Thursday. Pokemon Go just came out. We're doing the podcast on a Thursday. How do you feel though?
I feel fine. Off work. Thursdays are my nice day off. I actually played some video games today, and
I seen you were playing
just
a
yeah,
fantasy.
I was playing some Fantasy Star and some Destiny today. I don't get to do it
Yeah, there
too
you go.
often, so
Normally on Thursdays though, you head out to your locals, don't you?
yeah. Thursday evenings we go to the locals and stream, but special occasion, and should just be a fun time in general.
Right. I need to catch up with you, man. We got to talk about your this past weekend.
Oh yeah. My O3 drop. Yeah, that's no, it's fine. I talked about it on the YouTube channel if you want the garbage list I played. I played better at Milwaukee, losing the win and in with the almost the exact same deck. I changed two cards, and those two cards didn't factor into the
It had to
losses.
be the two cards, man. Gotta be
No,
what?
round two I hit a Decidueye Miltank, and like I just have one out. So he hits me for
Who's your out?
weakness.
Moltres or what?
Yeah, a single Moltres can't carry that game. So yeah, it just was whatever. Round one, I played someone from Denmark, and we went to game three, and it was really close. And then round three, I just my head wasn't on it at that point in time, and I'm like, all right, I'm out.
Ah,
I'm just gonna get some food and chill out. And Emily and I both went 0-3 drop. So, what'd
oh
you do?
man.
What did you do? I know you didn't, play in any nice tournaments or anything, but
Well, no, there was actually a winner box here, local one,
okay.
and I told you how average I am. At this Pokemon game, like
Yeah,
I'm willing to go to a regional now and just finish middle of the pack and be proud of myself.
okay.
But okay, winner box. Not a lot of people came out because a lot of people are gone, they're traveling, whatever it is. So it's only 14 of us. Um, you want to guess where I finished?
14th.
No, I said I'm average.
Oh, 7. Sorry.
No, I'm a little bit above that now.
Okay. 8.
No, a little bit above that.
Well, technically, 8 is higher than 7
I
in the
finished
sequence
six.
of. Okay, all right.
I finished six. I went 2-1-1.
Okay.
I am so average. I got
Well,
to get better at Pokemon. I got to get better. I wish we had like someone who's like a really accomplished player from like from like even like maybe last 4, 5, 6 years. Maybe part of like a large squad who shuffles cards or something like that.
okay.
Did
Yeah.
really well in this last tournament. I wish we had someone who could teach me, man.
You mean like Calvin Connor, who happens to be here with us today?
Oh my god, yes. Oh my god, yeah, him. Cal, what's going on, man?
Yo, what's good?
Sometimes Gazer, I
Nothing
swear, like,
much. I just been chilling.
oh, you're good. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Go for it.
I honestly, Gazer, I feel like this is like an episode of like a Nick Jr. show sometimes with you, like with the guest introductions every week.
Where's Cal?
It's like, oh my, is that a clue?
Have you seen Calvin Connor? Come on, it's a good segue, man. I'm good at segues. Come on.
I mean, you're getting there. You're getting there. You're learning. You're learning. But yeah, we're joined by Calvin Connor. We're just gonna call you Cal. That's what everybody calls you, anyways. You are a very accomplished player. You've got your Worlds invite. This year, you've done one heck of a run. You topped, not topped, but day two'd, what, 3 regionals and NAIC. So you've been really killing the game this season, man.
I've been feeling very good about it because I've had to go on a run because I didn't play too much post COVID because I started playing like online again with like the limitless TCG stuff and like playing online and like the ZAC tournaments and then the chill TCG tournaments
Okay.
because I used
Also,
to
the games
play
return of your
back in like
dreams.
I used to play like in the like fit 2015 2016 and then I quit and like cold turkey like all together for like a while and then I came back in like 2019 and played one regional and then that was it really.
Okay, so basically, like, the lockdown era really propelled you to want to, like, step it up and get in there.
Yeah, I seen a
Okay.
lot of people playing like TCG online and like on the Limitless page, and then I said, "Oh, that looks cool." I used to play, and then I started playing again, and then I fell back in love with the game.
Okay. A little bit of
I just
a
want to throw in that he also
renaissance.
played in the Gazerine Tourney of Dreams, just so I can throw that in there.
And the crowd goes wild, Gazer.
I'm proud of my tournament. But no,
Okay.
Cal, man, I've been knowing you for a while, man. I didn't know you were this accomplished of a player, man. How many You've been semifinalists in how many different things? And top eights and top fours, and I think you won one back when?
In 2013, I won U.S. Nationals, and then in 2014, I got third at Worlds, and then
Okay.
2015, I got top 8 at Worlds, and then 16, I believe, I got top 8 at Worlds again.
Wow. All seniors, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
Now he's a big boy. He's a big
There you
boy
go.
now.
yeah,
That's awesome though. Like, I dig it. I know a lot of peeps. Sometimes when they switch divisions, they either do what you did and keep it going, or just lose steam altogether. So I'm glad to see
yeah,
you keep it together and still ruffle stomp people.
I mean, I
hmm
guess in a way, it seems like that whole lockdown COVID period, helped reignite your love for the game, and the fact that everything was online, it helped you kind of get back into the swing of things, right?
yeah. It gave me easy access to start like playing and getting back into the formats and stuff for sure. Because I
Yeah.
was like mostly in school, so like
Okay.
I had like I started college, so I had a lot of free time because like we pivoted like from the in course like in person courses to more online. So like I was just in the house most of the day anyways during COVID. So then I seen people playing on the Limitless like page and stuff, and I thought I'd give it a try, and then I fell back in love with it.
Yeah, it seemed to be like how a lot of people got involved as of recently too. Limitless
Mm-hmm.
really, I think, saved the game during all the lockdowns and quarantines.
Shout out to Robin Schultz, man.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
that whole team that put all that time into the into both websites and their team themselves. Like, honestly, I don't think the massive attendance of the regionals and NAIC and everything would be the way it is now if it wasn't for Limitless.
yeah, for sure.
I know
Yeah, either
people.
sparks people or it kept people,
Yeah,
going. So yeah, it helped. It
and I
helped
mean,
big time.
like, Gazer and I, we both, when we ran our online tournaments, we did switch to Limitless, but we both started on like Challenge and
Hmm.
Battlefy or whatever, and eventually Limitless just made it so much easier for everybody to get in, and like
So simple.
almost every creator at one point in time had a tournament. Now so many do, and people that don't even like create content make tournaments, and it's just like a really good community involvement in general.
I mean, if
Exactly.
you look at some of the tournaments on Limitless, they're not even just all Pokemon tournaments
Yeah,
nowadays.
there's Digimon on there now too, which is super
Hmm.
awesome to see. And I mean, that's
Yeah.
all grassroots and webcam based, but even too with like the Digimon growth in general, like Arcanine uses their provides their services to Digimon now too. So it's crazy. I mean, I totally got some bling green cards yesterday, but that's a different story.
Speaking of cards, I picked up some Pokemon Go cards today. I went to Target. I was like, I wonder if they had them, and there they were. So I got an ETB and I got two Executor
Okay,
um, boxes to open up later on, probably tomorrow.
there you go.
Um, if anyone's listening to this recording right now, Steuben, you are doing a giveaway right after this recording, aren't you?
Technically, if you're watching this live on Twitch, you can type exclamation Pokemon Go to be entered to win a code that's worth 50 packs in PTCGO or PTCGL, courtesy of TPCI. So after the podcast recording, we're just gonna switch the stream into an actual stream, and then crack open 100 packs and build some decks and give away 50 to one lucky individual. If you're watching
Okay,
this later on
earlier.
YouTube or listening on Spotify or whatever like that, hey, follow us on Twitch, and you could be a part of stuff like this.
Yep. Make sure you check out Steuben on Twitch and his Twitter account and everything, all that good stuff. Check out Cal Connor. He'll have his stuff later on at the end of the stream. We were talking about SpongeBob earlier in the meme where everyone's part of the Shuffle Squad. Shout out to the Shuffle Squad too. Cal's part of it. And
Yeah.
the SpongeBob meme where you're Squidward, I'm Squidward, he's Squidward. Um, you're I'm the. Have you seen the SpongeBob meme where Squidward's like looking outside the window and Patrick and SpongeBob are running around having a good time?
Oh
Yeah, I've
God,
seen that.
I know where you're
That's
going
me
with
right
this.
now. You think I know? Okay, that's me right now, looking at everyone else with all this free products and all these free codes, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'm happy for you guys, but okay, what about Gazer? So, no, super real, man. I'm so happy, man. This is the second time TPCI has reached out to you like this, man. Congratulations on that.
But
hmm
thanks. It's been a lot of work at the behind the scenes and everything else too, though. So
Before we move on to the sixth prize turn, though, Stephen, I want to know if I can interest you in some of these building battles right here. I know Pokemon Go just came out, but look, I have a whole box. If you guys can take a look, this is a whole box of building battles.
That box is empty.
It's not. There's actually one in there. There's one.
Is that shrink wrap on it, or did you did you go to the grocery store and ask the guy at the produce department to reseal it for you?
I'll just put that away then.
Yeah. All right. On to the sixth prize turn. How this is going to work is we're going to ask you 6 random off the top of our head questions. Just blurt out the first and fastest answer you can come up with. I'm going to go ahead and start. What's your favorite drink?
I like Arizona tea.
Okay. Classic.
Not mad at that. Okay. These questions may or may not be Pokemon related, by the way. So the Arizona team, I threw you off a little bit. Like, wait, that's not a Pokemon. That's not Sinistea. But no, my question: what trainer card would you bring back from the XY era if you could?
XY. I was a big fan of Archie's Ace in the Hole and Maxie's Hidden Ball Trick, but they're very similar to Rapid Strike Mustard and Single Strike Mustard, but like more broad.
Yes, exactly right.
Color of sleeves and brand that you're currently using on your main deck for playing IRL.
I use Ultra Pros usually, but I usually use pink ones, but sometimes I like usually they're just different color of pink ones. Like if they're dark pink, like light pink, I like using the pink ones though.
Okay. If you didn't play the deck you played at NAIC, what would you have played?
Palkia.
Safe. Yeah, that's
Arceus or Palkia.
That's the safe answer. Yeah.
I guess we could sprinkle a little Mew. Sprinkle a little Mew in there.
Hot car out of the Pokemon Go set that you think people are underrating.
I like Venusaur. I think Venusaur is a lot better than people give it like credit for.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
All right, Gazer, ask another question. We'll talk about it after you ask the last question.
Okay. Last question. I only had 2. Oh man, I have to come up with one on the fly. Favorite cookie?
I like sugar cookies.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Those are good too. Those are good.
All right, yeah. When you say Arizona, like are you talking like green tea, half and half, or just all of them?
I like mango.
Oh yeah, dude, that mucho mango is so good.
I like mango.
You gotta go half and half. What are you guys doing?
I mean, I like half and half too. I like them all, but like that mango though, it's so sweet, it's so good. All right, Gazer, ask away about Venusaur. I know you want to.
Venusaur? So you're saying out of all the Radiants we can choose from, Venusaur is your choice?
I think Venusaur is underrated. I like Blastoise a lot too, though. Blastoise, I think, has a lot of potential, especially with like Rapid Strike and like decks that can manipulate like damage and Yoga Loop. But like, I think Venusaur can be abused in decks that like discard their entire hand and then like don't worry about being punished about it.
It's only 4 cards.
Yeah, but like, say you discard your entire hand and you use it like discard your entire hand just to like set up plays and stuff, and then you just draw 4 at the end of your turn even after attacking.
I could have concealed cards. I can do more damage than VMAXs. I can hit someone for 250 damage with a Charizard. I could put 2 damage counters on a Pokemon. But instead, you say, you know what? I'm gonna draw 4 cards, maybe. Perhaps if I get enough cards out of my hand, I'll draw 4. That's your choice, Cal?
Yeah, I like Venusaur. I think Charizard's pretty good too. I think Blastoise will probably be the best Radiant out of it, but I think Venusaur is a sleeper.
Subin, any love for Radiant Eevee?
I think it's actually the worst Radiant, honestly.
Yeah,
like Heatran's even better. Because Heatran can just become a big threat with Magma Basin and everything else over time.
If you don't check it
I think when we get Gardevoir, I think that's probably the best one in a vacuum.
Gardevoir. Is that the one that protects 20 less damage? Is that the one?
Yeah, the damage reduction. Yeah. I think in a vacuum, Radiant Gardevoir becomes the best one.
I'm still gonna go with Greninja probably.
Greninja's pretty good.
Greninja's solid, and being able to abuse it and reuse it with like scoop up net and whatnot, that's pretty cracked.
I think Blastoise has a lot of potential with Yoga Loop and like
Yeah.
being able to just bucket and just like automatically just put damage and place it whenever you want. And then Yoga Loop, Rapid Flows. I think it's going to be pretty good.
Oh yeah, like if your opponent just is like, all right, crap, I started a Sobble, I have no other Pokemon, and you're like, ha ha ha, you're just gonna have a good time because I mean you could easily just abuse that between like Scoop Up Net and I mean
Those
yeah,
poor Sobbles. Those poor Sobbles stand no chance nowadays, huh?
people are gonna be putting Big Charm on their Sobble turn 1.
Not my Sobble.
Sobble.
Have you guys been hearing about the there's a Alolan Raticate coming out, the first Alolan Pokemon in like 4 years, 3 years, whatever it is. There's a Alolan Raticate coming out. Basically, it has was it Hyper Fang?
Yeah,
Super Fang?
Yeah, Hyper Fang, Super Fang. Same thing as the old colorless one from like what Boundaries Crossed or whatever.
Put damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon so they have 10 HP left, right? You use that, and then you Yoga Loop the next turn, and then you get to do it all over again with Raticate, and just basically your opponent takes 1 turn, you take 2. They take 1, you take 2.
How does the timing on that work? Because couldn't you just play like Rocky Helmet? I'd have to see it and read it for sure.
Yeah, I think it matters about the wording and how it.
I'm gonna look that up.
The specifics matter with cards like that. Like a cool fact is like if you Yoga Loop and you got knocked out the turn before, you can also Raihan on the same turn.
Yeah.
Oh, you can.
Yep.
I had no idea. Wow.
Yeah,
this Raticate with Yoga Loop could be
because it specifies like with Raihan like your opponent's last turn. So even though you skipped a turn, their technical last turn.
Yeah, your opponent's last turn. So that makes wow.
Or same thing with Dialga, I think.
A judge ruled that wrong, I think, at NAIC from my understanding. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. I hope they get some clarification on that.
Yeah, that would suck if they lost the game because of that too. That would be awful.
Sounds like a deck that LDF's going to break open sometime, right?
LDF, yeah.
Yeah, I think he'll break open unless I do it first.
Yeah. So yeah, Super Fang just says put damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon until its HP remaining is 10. So like, if you really wanted to, if that was the only Pokemon you had them play, like they couldn't boss around it, you actually could just put Rocky Helmet on. If they even touch you to try and KO you, they're just going down. So you have to attack them first or whatever. But still, that's kind of funny.
I don't think Mewtwo V-Stars is that terrible either.
I think it's definitely slept on. I think as soon as somebody figures out and cracks it.
I was so excited until I realized it was only Psychic Energy, and I was like, "Oh man,
that's fine." Soul Rock Lunatone seems insane on their own as single prizers. So I mean, you could just use that as the engine for the energy cards. Like you can use Greninja to discard the Psychic Energy, and then Soul Rock puts it back in play on the Lunatone. And then worst case scenario, you can use Energy Switch to move it to the Mewtwo or like Raihan if you have to, since it's a 2 attachment attack. Like Experience Share even seems stupidly good in that sort of situation if you have to like play one of them. Pokestop Turbo out your item cards, like
I think Pokestop would be good with Dialga.
Yeah, Dialga, all those Turbo Mew shoe engines. Yeah, I think Pokestop makes the most sense in any of those decks.
Pokestop, discard 3 and then put all items in your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I just get nothing but shoes or nothing but gutsy pickaxe,
or you get saucers. If you get like energies, you just dump it anyway.
Yeah, that seems pretty solid. I think it's definitely slept on stadium card. A lot of people are like, oh no, this is gonna be bad. Don't do it. But I mean, like if you look at all these decks that have just popped up recently, there's just been so many item cards compared to normal. So
yeah, especially those turbo builds.
When you have Greninja, you have Mew. You can just dig as dig as deep as you want to nowadays.
Oh yeah, yep. I dig it. All right, we've rambled enough about Pokemon Go for a hot minute. So
I think we're kind of excited about it. I mean, it just came out like 3 hours ago.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm excited to open these 100 packs pretty soon.
I want to open up these boxes pretty soon, man.
It's really interesting that they're legal for Worlds too, the Pokemon Go set, and they're not like moving the sets now.
Yeah, that is definitely something interesting. It's like we normally have a full-on set right before Worlds.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess it makes sense because like Astral came out and then it had one regional and then NAIC for
Yeah.
legality. So it's kind of crazy
Yeah,
how
with
it's
this, they
all
just said,
breaking
here's a mini
down.
set. Here's a mini set. And the new set will come out after Worlds. I'm like, oh, they pushed
Yep.
it back.
I mean, and like we called last episode, rotation got moved over, and
Hmm.
so I mean that's also cool. I think I finally saw the trainer's toolkit contents too because I've been curious about that for the past few weeks. I'm not
It's
very
Luminion, isn't it?
yeah, it's Luminion, but the rest of it I'm not very impressed by. Like there's Quick Ball and Research
Yeah.
and Incense and Marnie, but they decided to put things that are like very very specific in there. They put
Okay,
two
tell me something.
they put
Gardenia?
two no, they put two Fusion Strike Energy, two cross switchers,
Oh,
two cross
Yeah.
receivers.
oh,
Like
oh.
those are really specific to like either the turbo decks or the Fusion Strike deck, and like even then, like I don't think I've ever seen anybody play cross receiver in anything.
Yeah. I haven't seen that card
Mm-mm.
either.
Like I haven't seen a single placement, even on an online event, where anyone played cross receiver, and it just makes no sense. Like yeah, you get your Marnie and you get your boss and your quick ball and your incense. They didn't put scoop up net in it either, which is a shocker.
What?
There's no scoop up
Mhm.
nets. I'm actually kind of upset with the contents they've decided to choose that for.
Yeah.
So we're better off just getting a toolkit that has a Crobat in it then, right? Just getting a second one of that.
I
Of
mean,
those.
Luminion's good. It's
Hmm.
it's proven itself more as of recently compared to when it first dropped, but
Yeah.
it's not worth a $30 MSRP box that has
Ugh.
4 booster packs, 2 Luminion, and a brick of bulk at this point.
Yeah. And the bulk all goes for like 5 cents or something, like around that range.
Yeah, and I mean, like you can't even sell bulk anymore for what you used to be able to sell it for.
Hmm.
That whole market is completely crashed. So it's just
Yeah.
I was gonna tell my wife to buy the training toolkit when it came out. I said, hey, it's gonna have a lot of stuff you need, like air balloons and scoop up nets and
yeah,
then
there's air balloon, but I mean like no scoop up nets.
oh nets. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
and net I think is one of the things like
Uh,
net incense Marnie. From working in the card shop, like those are
air
some of the
balloon,
ones that like air balloon as well that like we've
quick
needed
ball
in
kind of
stock that
stuff.
like I can't like people sell us their bulk or whatever, and like I rip through it and fill up a binder full of trainers for like the people that have been playing at Pokemon League and the tournaments and whatnot, but I couldn't keep Marnies and Quick Ball and incense and scoop up nets in stock if I tried, and
Hmm.
them not to put scoop up net in the trainer's toolkit is like a big slap in the face to a lot of these new players. I feel like they're
You're
just
probably
un
better off buying the Calyrex deck all over again.
yeah because
I mean, you don't get the Luminion, but you get all the other bulk,
yeah you,
not
you
bulk, all the other usable
yeah
trainers.
you get the Shadow Rider, not Shadow Rider, you get the Shady Dealings. I don't know why I
Hmm.
gravitated to Shadow Rider, but yeah, Shady Dealings is in there, and those are still a few dollars a piece. So
Ooh,
that's
stonks.
yeah, it's
And for
pretty.
stonks later on.
Nah, I mean, it's kind of known that it's a couple dollar card.
All right, let's get
So
down to business.
yeah,
Since
we're rambling. We're
um,
rambling.
yeah, I mean, we're all excited. It's a new set. We're excited.
Yeah, we are. We're
But okay,
excited.
but no. So, Cal, I'm gonna call you Cal. You hopped in, you played in the Games Tourney of Dreams, and that's a big deal to me. But Calvin, man, you have a large resume, man. As long as my arm.
Mhm.
Can you tell us more about your background? How'd you get started? How old were you? What piqued your interest? Did you walk in the mall one day and see like a Pikachu and like, oh wow, Pokemon?
Yeah,
What
I did
happened?
walk in the mall
Oh,
actually.
wow.
So I think I started around the age 10 or 11. I'm not 100% sure, but it was around 10 or 11. I walked in a mall and it was like an Uncle's Games, I think, South Center Mall. And I walked in, I bought some Pokemon cards because I've always been like interested in collecting the cards. Like I never knew like you could actually play with them. Like I always was like just buying the cards just to buy them, and like I would just like throw it in binders and like try to like collect like master sets and stuff. And like this one guy, I forgot his name. I think his name was Jim, and he told me there was a local Pokemon league, and I was like, okay, I'll come to it because like I was gonna try to like find some people to trade some of my stuff with and like try to get some of the stuff I was missing, and I thought like saw it as a like golden opportunity. And then like I came there and someone gave me a deck, and then I started playing, and then like it all went off through there.
Wait. Someone just hands you a deck. You came in looking to make some trades. They hand you a deck and they say, "Hey, play this, kid."
Yeah, someone handed me like a theme deck, and then I started playing with like some of the other local kids, and then like I beat the other kids' theme decks, and then I started trading up for like the good cards. But like it was kind of a struggle to get the good cards because like I was starting off with like a theme deck and like master set, so like I had like one of the good cards, and I was like, damn, how do I find the rest of the good cards? Because like I started figuring out like you needed like 3 and 4 of like the good cards to like play like actual decks and stuff. And then I had to start like trying to trade up, and then I had one deck, and then I just played that one deck for like the entire like first year I played.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys heard it here first. Cal Connor dominating 9-year-olds theme decks.
Yeah,
He's a prodigy to begin with, just already prodigy.
they were playing theme decks too, for what it's worth, but yeah,
Still domination though.
A lot of people like that's one of the hard things about like getting new people into the game is like the most available thing for new people is literally those theme decks and the V battle decks and like
Mhm.
I like it when they put out like that Inteleon or the Urshifus, the Calyrex decks because it helps out so
Yeah.
much more, but
Mhm.
they need that more often and like it's just so hard for like people to keep that kind of stuff in stock because once you get allocated and it sells, it's gone, it's done.
Yeah. It sounds like crazy to like people that like play like seriously and competitively because like I'll have like now like maybe like 8 or like 10 decks and like decks that I can like cycle through and make different decks like whenever I kind of want. But like
Mhm.
when you first start playing, it's like actually kind of difficult to get like a grasp on everything, like very quickly at least.
Yeah. I mean, like if you use PTCGO and you start playing on that, like they give you mental might and like these awful theme decks that like aren't even standard legal,
Yeah.
and then the only chance of you playing standard cards is using TCG Live, and it's still a broken mess that isn't welcome.
Oh boy.
Like for everybody to get into. Like
Yeah.
Shout out to our boy Trust Your Pilot, the only guy I know playing PTCGL still.
the king of the Twitch category.
Man, he owns that category. But no, I've been playing locally for about 3 months now, and maybe about a month ago, I ran into a father and son who were, they were just at the shop playing, and the guy came
Mhm.
and said, "Hey, you guys want to hop in this tournament we're about to fire up?" They're like, "I guess," and they both had, let's see, dad had bought like a whole booster box of Brilliant Stars. Couldn't stop buying. He wanted to hit the Charizard, couldn't get it. He just kept buying more Brilliant Stars. So he had one deck built from his bulk, a metal kind of deck with was it Aggron VMAX?
Oh God.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then he and the son both had the V Battle decks, but it's not the ones you're thinking. The dad had I think the dad had Corviknight,
Okay,
and the
makes
son had
sense.
Victini.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
And of course they didn't do well in the tournament. But afterwards I talked to him, I said, "Hey, there's another shop that sells singles." Because the shop we were at, they only sell a product. There's another shop that
Yeah.
sells singles like literally across the street, down the street. Meet me over there sometime next week. So they met up that weekend, and they brought the daughter and the mother, and they ordered the daughter the Venusaur V Battle deck, and the mother had Blastoise V Battle.
Yeah.
So I talked to him, and I said, "Okay." So we talked to mom into getting Inteleon, Rapid Strike Inteleon, and she bought a few of those, and she liked them, some Cheryls, and we got the son Victini V and some more V Maxes and some Barrels and stuff, and we got the dad. The dad didn't know what he wanted to play, but eventually he ended up playing Whimsicott. I'm like, "Oh, you're about 3 months too late," but okay.
Mhm.
But they're like really starting to enjoy it. It's like they play, every week as a family, and they come out to the tournaments, and they're getting better at the game. They're enjoying it. So those battle decks, those since there are no theme decks nowadays, those V battle decks, they go by level 1, 2, and 3. Those
Yeah.
things are so big for to get new people interested. And Subin, if you working at a shop, I'm sure sold your share of those decks before too, right?
Yeah, so it's funny. I have this one guy comes in, his name's Chris, and he was one of our collector people that would come in and just exclusively collect. And eventually, like enough of me talking about it and seeing it happen, he started playing, and he just didn't have anything other than like collection stuff. So he ended up buying one of the Corviknight decks, and then he wiped us out of like Corviknight V's out of the dollar binder and some V Maxes, and just kind of
Yeah,
just put it together and
this one.
just started playing. And eventually he came full circle. He started the first full deck he built was Jolteon at the time. He's got Arceus, Duraludon. He's got a Dialga V Star deck. And in the last tournament we had at the shop, he won.
Oh, he came up.
So he did the glow up super fast.
He started from the bottom.
Yeah, he started from
now he's almost here.
Yeah, I mean, within 2, maybe 3 months max, he's already raffle stomping at the local tournaments and doing all right. So
I mean, that was me. I bought the V Battle deck with the single strike one because it was so cheap. It was like $20. I bought that, ordered it online, and I picked up a couple Umbreons and the rest. Overall, the whole deck, the make cost me about $50, $60. And I was doing pretty well. It wasn't like, dominating anyone. I was, going 2-1, 2-1, 1-2, 1-1-1, stuff like that. And then after about a month and a half, I won a whole tournament one night. And I was like, hey, I'm getting better. So it feels good when that can happen. Cal, when do you remember that you finally had that feeling like, hey, I'm pretty good now. I'm getting better. I feel good at this game.
My first year, I was not too good at the game at all. I was like, I think the best card the year that I was playing was this card called Yamega, and I just could not get my hands on Yamegas. Like all the I didn't know about like online, like you could buy stuff online, and I thought in the place that I went to, I only had like one local place. We didn't have singles or anything, so you just had to buy boxes. So like all the people I would try to trade up for these Yamegas and like Dawn Fams and stuff, I just could not get them. So like I was just playing like a Lantern. Like I forgot what it's called. I think it was Lantern Prime.
Oh yeah, the Primes. Yeah.
Kept losing to Dawn Fam Yamega decks, and like I wanted the deck so bad, but just couldn't get it because like I just did not know where to get it or like how to get it. So I just kept trying to trade because I thought that's the only way I could get it. And I would try to trade everybody, and nobody would want to trade them. Everyone would want to keep them.
Yeah,
and then
it sucks when you don't have a place that like really supports the game on that level.
And then I played casually the next year. I think the next like season I played like semi seriously was like the Darkrai like Mewtwo type of format.
Oh, X-Ball.
Yeah.
Oh,
and I ended up making Worlds that year and did not do so hot at Worlds or Nationals. And I was like, I'm okay at the game. Like I've done decent at regionals and stuff, but like I haven't had any like good breakout like great performances yet. And then the next year I started testing like a lot and practicing a lot and just trying to get better because this was like in my head I was like this is going to be like my make or break year. Like if I don't like see any progression this year, I think I'm just going to like quit and then like do other things because I think I was pretty young. And
like
in my
11
head,
years old, you were thinking that already?
Progression this year. And then I ended up winning nationals that year. And then I started like a lot of it I think is confidence as well.
Oh yeah, if people are unsure of themselves, they're going to be nervous wreck the entire time they're playing.
Yeah,
that's a great story though. That's such a great story. You were this close to just stepping away, like, well, it's not for me, and then you turn around and win it all. Yeah. As I coach basketball too, IRL, and there's been times as a coach I like, should I be doing this? Am I good enough to? And then you got, you make a good decision, you get a big win, something happens. Even a fellow coach or colleague, says, hey, you're a good coach. You're like, okay, I feel a little more validated. So that's good, man. I understand that. You're like super, just like you said, if your confidence is low in something, you're not gonna be feeling it. You're like, I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, I mean, and then when you hit like those top players and stuff, it's like when you hit someone you like think is like very good or like and you're like unsure about yourself, it like even if like you still play the game the same way and like you go into it, it's like I think a lot of it is a mental battle where it's like, oh, am I good enough? Like this person's better than like stuff like that.
If you have any advice you can give to anybody listening to overcome that sort of fear or panic, what would you tell them?
One of the main things that I think I did is like I stopped trying to like concern myself with like who I'm playing and like what's going on, because like when I used to play, I used to like think like, oh my god, like I'm hitting this player, like oh no, like this guy's pretty good at the game, like the odds of me winning this are like pretty low and stuff like that. But like if you think about it, everyone has to like play the game the same way. Everything is like kind of dependent on you. There's a good amount of like luck that has to go into the game. Like yes, like
Yes.
you could get unlucky. Like that could just happen. But like there's a fair amount, if you play the right way and you do the right things, there's a fair amount that you can dictate. And like if you go in confident and feel like you could beat anybody, you truly can beat anybody.
Okay. I mean, it's cool too. Like, it's some people that like are super involved in the game, the community, like recognize names and faces and whatnot. And then you have like people that like, oh, cool, this is my first regional or my first big
Yeah.
event, and they sit down and play against somebody and they win. And they're like, oh yeah, good game. And they walk away and don't even realize who they played or who they, like they're in their own little world. Like my fiance Emily, her first big event was NAIC 2019. She had no idea that she was sitting across from Robin Schulz, like the Robin Schulz, and
Yeah.
then she tied, and I was like, oh my god, you tied Robin Schulz! Holy crap, let's go!
Like, huh?
And she's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, and then I explain, and she's like, oh, that's kind of cool, and like. That's another
Yeah.
benefit too of like if you're not connected with everybody, then you have no idea, and like it's a
And
I guess
don't kick in.
it's like a
Yeah.
superhuman power of like not knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
For
Subin,
sure.
for example, if I said, "Hey, Subin, I want you to play basketball against Giannis Antetokounmpo," you'd be like, "Okay, sure." You know, you wouldn't think anything of it, right?
I wouldn't play
Exactly.
basketball in the first place, but
But no, I know exactly what you're saying. Just sometimes it's that blissful ignorance of just not knowing, not being connected, not knowing yet, can also, I guess not boost your confidence, but also, keep you from being, a little, unconfident.
yeah,
So
it
Yeah.
helps kill the nerves.
yeah, it may not boost your confidence, it may not, make you feel better. But, at least you're not unconfident because you don't get intimidated by the name on the paper on the slip sheet.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think confidence goes a long way in the game.
Definitely does. So, moving into Worlds, without giving away like the leaks, the sauce. How are
Yeah.
you preparing? What are you working on? You don't have to say deck specifics if you don't want to. But how do you prepare and like what's your methodology for getting ready for a big tournament like Worlds?
Yeah, I think for Worlds, I think the number one thing to do is to make sure that you're like mentally like ready. Like I think about like the game, like a lot of it has to do with like being mentally prepared. So like if something that I like to do is like whenever I'm about to choose like a deck or something that I'm going to go with, sometimes I don't think playing like yes, there's always a best deck in format or like the most like strong deck in format, but like I think the best thing to do personally for me that always works for me is picking the deck that you feel the most comfortable with, because what's the point of playing like a deck that is like the best deck if you don't feel like comfortable playing the deck and it's not like your style. And like I like to like make sure that I grind decks, and whatever deck like feels like the best to me and I feel like I can play optimally every game is the deck that I'm going to go with.
Okay. So basically, just don't go in blind with a deck you've never played before.
Yeah, so like for example, I felt like Palkia was probably the best play for NEIC, but I knew that I had not played Palkia like that often, and I knew that Palkia was like it's a deck that takes a lot of decision making as well, and it's one of those style decks where it's like if you make one critical error, you could just throw the entire match and lose it. And like going into the week, I had been practicing Arceus the entire week, and the night before, I was thinking of switching to Palkia because I felt like Palkia had a better matchup spread going into the format. But then in my head, I'm like, I know that I can beat 6 people playing, like, I can go 6-2-1 playing Arceus, like, no doubt. Because, like, I feel like I can play the deck like, without making mistakes and, like, without like you can lose some games just from luck and like getting unlucky and stuff like that, but like if you know a deck and know how to play it and you're doing all the right things every like time, you will be successful.
Makes a lot of sense, honestly. Just being
I
familiar.
say it.
Yeah.
I say it almost every other stream. It seems like. Subin, what was my go-to deck about a year and a half ago?
Oh god, here we go. Gengar Mimikyu.
Gengar Mimikyu, and it wasn't the best deck, but I knew that deck so well that I was able, to do okay in tournaments with it. So you're exactly right. If you're comfortable with something, you know your matchups, and you just know your deck. Like I say, you felt confident, saying, "Hey, I can go 6-2-1 if I need to, or 6-1-2."
Yeah. Yeah, I felt very confident with Arceus. And like
Mhm.
going into the tournament with with Palkia, I did not want to switch the day before and then be like, I'm going to learn these matchups while I'm playing.
And, like
Yeah,
you hear people say that though. They're like, "Oh yeah, I picked this deck up last night, and I made day 2, and I learned as I was playing." Like, you are a brave soul,
Yeah.
for wanting to go that route. Like, I could never want to do it. I mean,
Yeah.
I stuck with the same 58 cards from Milwaukee to NAIC, and like I had bad luck, but like I didn't have time that week to play anything else and like get reps in. So I was just like, well, I played it, I'm comfortable
Yeah.
with it. I really didn't have anything on the line either, so
Hmm.
just rocking
Now,
out
Yeah.
I'm
because
sure.
I was comfortable with it. So
I'm sure if you're like playing for a Worlds invite, if you needed to get like a day 2 to make Worlds or
yeah, I
something
would
like
have
that,
just
you'd
played
play
like Arc
something.
Intel or something. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I needed
Mhm.
day 2 for my Worlds invite. So I was like, I'm just going to play a deck that I know how to play and know I'm not going to make mistakes with. And I'm going to be, I feel very strongly and I feel good with needing to win this certain amount of games I need to get my invite.
Yeah, it's
We talked last week with Nicholas and well, yeah, Nicholas too, and also Connor Lavelle,
yeah.
and they both were in a situation where say, hey, we have enough points, saved up, where we can take a chance on playing something um,
Hmm.
a little more unconventional, I guess you could say,
A
Yeah.
fun deck.
a little more fun. So yeah, when
Hmm.
you know what you have to do. Like I'm sure, Connor, if Cal, I mean, yeah, Cal, if you had your stuff locked, if you're locked up for Worlds,
Yeah.
day 2 wasn't the thing you had to make. I'm sure you would have played something, a little different too, right?
Yeah. I think I
Yeah.
would have took a bigger chance if I had my like invite and day 2 locked up. But I just wanted to
Mhm.
play because Arceus and Teleon's a very like middle of the road type deck. Like it's not the best deck in format, it's not the worst deck in format, but it's one of those decks where it's very consistent and it does what it does
Yep.
majority of the games.
Yep.
Yeah, instead of like being a psychopath like me and playing Darkrai at 2 majors back to back. Next year it'll be a little bit different. Hopefully, if they give us cups and challenges where I can actually apply myself and grind out an entire season, but I can't just do it from regionals alone. I'm not that confident in myself or my abilities.
Yeah,
So
Yeah. I
hopefully
mean,
they
it
bring
sounds like
back
things are
cups.
starting to
I
get
really
more
enjoy
towards that.
cups.
yeah,
Like,
the
yeah,
cup grind is honestly like one of the best things.
I can't
Hmm.
wait to start doing that. It's gonna be fun. But it sounds like those things are starting to, come to fruition again. Like things are starting to,
Yeah, they
find some form of normalcy
I
now.
guess we can do a little tiny news update. Is today they updated the COVID policy
Hmm.
for premier events, and they removed the vaccine mandation,
Hmm.
Yeah, I've seen that.
which is it's on it. It's weird because I've seen so many people on Twitter this week say, "Hey, I tested positive after NIIC," or "Hey,
Yeah,
I've
That's
a
got
lot
true.
of my
COVID."
friends
You're
did
right.
get COVID from the IC as well.
Yeah, I mean the whole Plexus thing being next door, and they're like anti-COVID vaccine policy, and they all ran around without masks on all weekend. Like, that definitely doesn't help matters being that close to two big conventions side by side in the same center.
I
But
mean, right?
Yep.
They just in the same week, they just lifted it up. So here you go. It is kind of
Yep.
funny. You're right.
maybe it's because of where Worlds is, with it being in London, and
Yeah.
like laws are different there. Like, I think what Liverpool regionals, they did not force the vaccine mandate there either.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
it may have something to do with like laws in England in general, to where like you can't force people to have that to enter an event. But again, like, laws and rules are changing all over the world day after day. I don't want to get like political on this because this is a Pokemon podcast, but we're definitely still in weird, uncertain times. And then for them to just say,
Yeah.
hey, let's gather a few thousand people together, but oh yeah, by the way, you don't have to be vaccinated anymore. Like that's kind of unnerving, honestly. Especially like I said, seeing everybody post that they tested positive this week.
Yeah.
It might have to do with like you said, the fact that for Worlds, it has to be. Gotta be connected to that.
Yeah. I wonder if it'll revert or change after
Next season.
Worlds, or if they just do away with masks altogether eventually too. I have no idea. That's
Yeah.
that's
Maybe leading
all.
into the next season. Maybe it'd be more normal. More I don't know. Maybe masks be optional at that point. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get more information about the next season. Hopefully before Worlds, but also like at least around that time.
When do seasons usually start back up?
August.
Oh, so right after Worlds, literally right after.
I mean, Worlds is in August. So
Yeah, I think it's the 19th.
yeah. So usually like the new seasons start then. Maybe it'll change, it'll shake up. We'll see what happens
Okay.
ultimately. I'm not
Okay.
100% certain on what's going to happen. I don't think anybody is this time. I mean, like they
Yeah, I don't
waited.
think anything's been announced yet. I think they're still waiting to announce the cups and like what the system's gonna look like as well.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Well, I'm excited to get going, man. I can't wait, man. You're gonna see me at someplace. I don't know where. I'll
yeah,
be somewhere though.
I mean, hey, don't forget we sell Gust of Wind merch. So that'll help pay for Gazer's trips to the East Coast if you want to meet
East
Gazer.
Coast.
Get some Gust of Wind merch.
East Coast, like
Yeah.
Missouri, places like that.
I mean, they do what is it? Collinsville, Illinois, which is basically St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah.
Every
There'll
year.
probably be some West Coast regionals too.
Yeah,
Let's
they did.
go.
I mean, they did Salt Lake. Maybe we'll
Cali.
see Cali or
I'm talking
something.
real West Coast. I'm talking about California. I'm talking about Seattle, the real West Coast too.
I mean, they've done Portland before,
Yeah.
so we'll see what happens. Who knows? I mean,
Yeah. We've had Seattle regionals before as well, but with the whole gambling laws, I'm unsure.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But no,
Las Vegas regionals,
Las Vegas, Florida.
right on the strip. We're going to regionals in Vegas. Oh my god, that'd be a nightmare. That'd be an
imagine all the best. I
absolute
want to bet on
nightmare.
Zul GG. I want to bet on Luke Morrison. I want to bet on. I want to bet on Cilios to get the day two.
Oh my god.
I'm betting on Cal Connor. I'm betting on Cal Connor to get the day two. That's what I'm betting on.
There
But
you
no,
go.
so whenever the new season starts, that's gonna be amazing, man. I'll be excited for that. But Cal, what are your thoughts on this past season? It's a weird year for sure, especially for you to jump right back into it. After hitting out the last few years of that. But how'd you feel about it? How
Yeah.
did it make you feel? What just thoughts?
It was a tough situation. I think I needed like 300 and almost 80 points for my invite, I believe, or something of that nature. Because I got 60, 60, and 80, 200. Yeah, I needed 300 points for my invite, I believe. So, like, I knew it was going to be tough, but going into the season, I was very optimistic of getting it. But like the season has been very weird also with the day 1, day 2s. Back when I used to play as well, we didn't do day 1 and day 2. We just did like one worlds and then they did like a grinder where like people
Yeah.
would like try to grind in for their invite. So like this day 1, day 2 thing's a little bit different for me. And the whole international system is also different because we did nationals like it was kind of unheard of like when I used to play for like foreign players to go to the other like nationals and stuff like your nationals were supposed to like just be like your country and stuff like that. So like the internationals have been like really cool. I went to the NAIC. It was my first like internationals and it was really cool. I really like the atmosphere. Like it's very more competitive as well because like you have like the top players from every country coming
Oh yeah, and I mean we had that with Milwaukee too because they're just week to week. Like
because they're just there.
yeah, they were like, oh well, we can come for a whole week and a half and hit two major events.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember like it was 2016 was the last nationals, and that was in Indy or Columbus. I don't remember. I have the play mat wherever it's at.
hmm
Um, And then it all changed 2017 with the
Yeah.
internets, and I mean they also yeeted cities and states at the time, and
Yeah.
I really did like states. I wonder if we can get something similar to that back in the future, especially with how hard it is to travel, flights getting canceled every left and right you look. So maybe that'll be one of the things that comes back with the potential of the new season.
Yeah.
If not come back, then something similar to it, like, or just more regionals that are smaller or whatever. I mean that'd be
Yeah.
fine too.
It's been a
I'm for
very
it all.
weird street like season with the whole COVID and everything because
Yeah.
like the world was in a very like weird spot and Pokemon was in a very weird spot where they had to like kind of shut down the season mid-season. And then like you have the topic where it's like the age up seniors, like how does that work? Because now they're like a lot older than what they were when the like pandemic started.
Yeah.
So do you play them in the senior division and let them finish, or do you just move them up to the masters? And then how does that affect points and travel awards and day two invites?
Yeah, it's honestly just been a mess. I'm glad going forward that things will just make more sense. Hopefully, with
Yeah,
the next year.
yeah,
And then I mean we've had a lot of like seniors that aged up this year that also cheated and got disqualified.
yeah.
So it makes you wonder how they actually were so good as seniors too. If it just went on all this time and went unnoticed.
hmm At NAIC, there were six disqualifications, which is
Yeah,
insane.
yeah, that's I think that's the highest. Honestly,
Is it?
I
I
think
don't know.
so.
It's got to be up there.
That's definitely a record, if not like or like tied for one, because that's normally we hear of like, oh, okay, this person got DQ'd at SLC. Okay, and I think that was the last time I heard anything about a DQ at all.
That's
Yeah,
true.
In the
I
season
forgot about
was
yeah.
SLC.
But that's so long ago. That was like
Yeah,
March, wasn't it?
yeah,
yeah.
I forgot all about that.
and to go all the way until end of June, and then all of a sudden, oh, 6 players DQ'd. See you later. Have fun at
In like
Derry.
They
one
finally got
day.
up to him. I mean,
Yeah,
they cheated their way through. Who knows what else they cheated their way through? And then they're like, all of a sudden,
hmm
catches up to you. Who
It's
knows?
gonna suck too for the people that played them and like lost to them like at
True.
nationals, because then you think like did I just get cheated against? Like, did I not catch it? Like,
yeah. Did they palm a boss on me? Like I have no idea.
yeah,
And I mean the amount of money that some of those players have also walked away with,
yeah,
to get caught after the fact. Like that money's been paid out. That sucks. Like everybody
hmm
got robbed.
yeah,
Yeah. I forgot all about Salt Lake City. I know you didn't, Cal. You did really well at Salt Lake, didn't you?
hmm
You got
Yes.
13th. You played what,
hmm
Gengar? Yeah.
yeah. I think
Yes. I know you
Gengar was
didn't
a
cheat, but
very
I
good
forgot.
meta call for Salt Lake, but then after that, Urshifu started popping off, so Gengar was not the play anymore.
No, I mean like I think every event that you've made day two on this season, you've played a completely different deck.
Yeah,
What's part of your metagaming process?
I like to see where the meta's trending and see what the deck to beat is, and then play a deck usually that beats that deck because most people like to play the deck that like is the most like popular deck and the deck that's like the best deck. Like going into Salt Lake, Mew had just like dominated Australia, and going into the tournament, everybody was saying how cracked Mew was and how amazing Mew was, and then Gengar dominated Salt Lake, and it ended up winning the event too. I think.
I mean, that was just a
Yeah,
big old meta call, like
it
you
was
said.
Drew Kennett, I think, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
two different builds of Gengar too.
Yeah,
Gengar
you
Arceus and then
played
the Houndoom.
you played the Houndoom build, right?
Yep.
You played it with Gabe and oh, I can't remember who else.
hmm Yeah, we ended up playing Gengar. It was a pretty good call. I ended up hitting 9 Mews, so
Oh wow, yeah, that's
so that
Time
was
out.
fun.
Wait, time out. Bring that back. Reverse it. Hold on. You hit how many Mews?
9.
How'd you not win the whole event? That's free matchups just the
It
whole way
was
through.
3 matchups. 9 out of 15 rounds, I hit Mew.
That's just you should have won the whole thing. What are you doing? Where'd you screw up at?
The only issue was I lost my win it into Xander to that tournament.
Oh, well, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I was one win.
That's fair enough.
I've lost 2 win it ins to top 8 so far this year, which has sucked. But like, it makes you feel like you're so close that you have to just keep going.
You'll get there, man. You'll get there. You got this.
Yeah, at Salt Lake, I ended up losing the last round before I could tie it into Xander. Xander ended up winning me, and then he just tied his last one into top cut. He was playing Arceus and Teleon, and I was playing Gengar, which is not the greatest matchup, but it's not terrible.
Yeah, like you can hit that 280 if you need to.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, you can't like fear and panic your way there either. Versus Mew, where you just get 2 attachments down and just eat them up.
And you take off. You're just
gone.
Yeah.
You're off to the races.
At Salt Lake, everybody was playing Mew. There was a lot of Mew at Salt Lake, from what I remember. I remember day 2, I think I hit 3, and day 1 I hit 6.
Yeah, that's really good. Being able to just farm that weakness to get there and have it take you all the way.
Really.
Mm-hmm.
Really.
So I like with how Australia had an all Palkia top 8. I'm kind of shocked that we didn't see like something crazy other than I guess flying Pikachu really come out of the gates for every other event, and it just shows that like Palkia is super strong and like it's very resilient too.
I didn't want to play Palkia because I thought that like there would be a counter to Palkia that I'm just not thinking of.
Yeah.
But like there's just no strong electric attackers that really stop Palkia.
Yeah, I mean even like in Japan, like they have Magnezone V-Star and it's not doing anything at all.
Yeah.
So
no one listens to me, do they? I gave you guys the answer like 2 weeks ago. You put Raikou in one of your Palkia decks. You added an Aurora Energy.
But then you're just trading a 2 for 1 though.
Yeah.
Like you're just trading a 2 for 2.
Yeah.
But Raikou's just it one shots it, no problem. They have to be able to one shot me back. What if they can't?
They do because it's got 200 HP.
But what if they can't?
But they can, and they do every time.
Maybe.
Because you're only knocking out 1 Pokemon. They still have a bench full of 5. You probably have a bench full of like 2 or 3 or 4, so they just get there.
Okay, that does it. I'm taking Palkia Raikou to my locals tomorrow night.
All right, when you go 0-3 drop, let me know.
No, we're waiting on something good on the electric side, and it's not going to be Magnezone V-Star. That's not it.
No, it's weird, and like Pokemon Go could have been something that they put a lightning attacker into. And they didn't. It would have been like the perfect opportunity to shake up the Worlds format completely, but they didn't. All right.
Yeah.
It's rough, like because now we have to wait until Lost Origin, and even then, like the best thing coming out of that now is probably gonna be Giratina, and it
will be.
And it doesn't like handle Palkia, but it might trade better.
Yeah, Palkia is really strong.
Trade. It doesn't handle the trades better. You're right.
If you like look at like how well Suicune Ludicolo did and how good of a deck that was, when like Palkia compared to it is like insane.
Oh yeah, it just way better. Being able to recur all that energy, all the abuse, all the different variants. Yeah. Yeah,
and then you get back your energies, and then like
it's that V-Star ability, right? That's
especially with like combos like Cheryl and stuff. It's really good.
Oh my gosh, yeah, You Cheryl and then you just let me use my Star Portal and I'm good to go. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
My next deck I'm gonna build IRL. What I'm playing right now is Reggie. What I'm gonna build, next time IRL is I think I'm gonna go Palkia Ice Rider. I have all the pieces for it. I just haven't put it together yet. Shout out to our boy Senior Doom. He has a couple builds he likes, and he's trying to determine which one's the best. I said you have to go with the Inteleon engine, right? Because he has one with Beavers. So no, it's got to be Inteleon. It has to be. So I think I'm gonna go Palkia Ice Rider next. But like you say, I like Suicune too. But you guys are exactly right. The versatility of Palkia separates it from Suicune.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's one of those decks where it's like it is okay with going first and second, so it makes it stronger. And it's one of those decks also where it's like you're playing like a bait game with your opponent where they can't bench multiple things, so it hurts their game. So it's like
Yes.
it's just so strong. Like
Anytime you can keep your opponent from doing, whatever they want to do, or not even what, but just limit to, make it.
Mhm.
I have to decide. Okay, is it worth putting this other Sabo down? Should I bench my Radiant Greninja now? Should I wait? Should I scoop up the? Anytime you have your opponent second guessing their own actions and not doing everything they want to do, you're doing pretty well.
Mhm. Especially because those cards become dead in their hand as well. So like if you have like an extra Sabo or an Arceus like in your hand, and like you're at like the perfect map where you're like barely escaping like a knockout on your Arceuses, you just can't drop the other one. You have to just hold it in your hand, and it's just a dead card at that point.
Yeah, and then you can't
We've all been
shady
there where
dealings, you can't evolve, or you don't have
exactly.
another
We've all been in that
Pokemon to
situation.
accelerate your energy onto. Yeah, it's very punishing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then they have Roxanne. It's a very punishing deck.
Yeah, being able
Yeah,
to
I'm
have
building that for IRL.
all of those things, it's insane. Powering it
I'm
up.
taking that deck to I'm taking that deck to my locals tomorrow night. No, I'm not. I'm taking Reggie. I'm lying. I can't leave the Reggies alone, man. I just can't.
Don't do Reggie's. It's a trap. I played Reggie's
I've
from
won 3
Milwaukee.
local tournaments with it recently. I took in second in 2 of them, so I'm almost winning all of them. It's good.
I played Reggie's from Milwaukee, and I think that's the worst event that I've had this year so far. I started off 5-0, and then
Oh
I
my
ended
god!
up 5-4. I lost 4 in a row.
Oh man.
You're like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm doing it. It's happening. You're like, I'm gonna
Okay.
do it.
My matchups were like this. So on the fifth game, I hit a flying Pikachu. I somehow beat it with Reggie's, and then on the sixth game, I hit another flying Pikachu. Then I lost, and then I hit a Duraludon VMAX.
Oh, you don't beat the Ralladon at all.
Oh
That's
yeah,
the
and then
Yeah,
I
just auto
lost,
big
loss.
auto loss.
and then I hit Palkia, and I was just missing stuff. Like that matchup it was very winnable, but I just kept missing like key choice belts and key things that I needed. So I ended up losing that series. And then on my last game for points, because I was like, okay, I could just win this last one, get some points, get my invite, like it's fine. I hit another Duraludon.
Oh no.
Yeah. So
Oh.
the deck can miss, and there was I had a free matchup one time against Mew, and I missed in the first game. I got blasted, and I came back the next game, blasted him, and then we tied the third game.
Mm-hmm.
But if you miss, a matchup that's so favorable, you struggle so hard. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I should be winning this. So I understand. I've beaten Palkia almost every time I played it, but I know if I ever miss something, I could struggle. So the
Yeah.
beauty of that Reggie deck though is the fact that they're single prizers, so it gives you a chance,
Yeah.
you can fall behind a couple prizes and
It gives you
be
extra
okay.
turns, but sometimes Roxanne's very punishing against that deck, especially if they play Temple of Sinnoh.
Oh,
They go
it's,
Sinnoh,
It's more so
Roxanne.
Sinnoh than
yeah.
Roxanne. It's Sinnoh, so that's Sinnoh's the problem.
Temple Roxanne, GG's, you're done. Your goose is
Yeah,
cooked.
I've been
tough to come
Roxanne
back
multiple
from.
times. I've been okay. It's the temple. Once I
Mm-hmm.
get templed, I'm digging, looking for another stadium. I run 4 stadiums now. I
Oh,
struggled
okay.
against the Palkia this past weekend. I won the last 2, but the first one I struggled because I was in command. I'm in control. Reggie Lecky. I'm just going. And then they like you said, they Roxanne me, and I'm like, okay, I got 2 cards, I'm fine. I had everything I need. And then Temple Sinnoh, I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And I discarded 2 of my stadiums. One was prized, the other one's in the deck. And I
Yeah.
had like a research, whatever. The Roxanne didn't hurt me, and I still had Reggie Drago to draw a card. Roxanne was fine. It was that Temple, so I'm digging, I'm looking, I'm searching, and I'm whiffing it every
Yeah.
turn. And I lost the first game. That Temple is punishing, man.
Temple's tough for the deck. And then Duraludon, I don't, you just probably can't beat it. It's just such a
Yeah,
tough matchup.
not at all. But I remember when you played Shrek and Teleon, and you ran into your auto loss. You ran into
Whimsicott, yeah.
Whimsicott. You're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
If it wasn't for all the hype that Whimsicott had, I think that was my tournament, man. 100%. Like, if I would have hit all those Arceus and Urshifu decks at Indy, they can't one shot me, and I just heal and I 2-shot them, and I can do it all day long. It's the musical from all the Avengers stuff. I can do it all day.
I can do this all day. Yeah.
This is just like Loop Cheryl But yeah, then Whimsicott popped its little fuzzy head up and ruined my plans.
Yeah, Wims was a very hype deck coming into Indy. I remember that I played Mew, and I made sure I had training courts and double psychics just so I could beat Whimsicott because like
Nope. I'm not
Wims
falling
is
for
like
this.
Wims is was very good for like that specific meta for the
Yeah.
for EUIC. I think Frank hit a lot of Urshifu.
Oh, he had to have. I put like unfortunately I put like 40 hours into that Rapid Strike
Mm-hmm.
Inteleon deck, and I'm like at this point, then like it popped up, and I'm like, oh, this is next week now. I'm just gonna play it anyways. I'm just gonna play it anyways. Like, and yeah, it kind of screwed up everything, but whatever. I still had a good time.
I mean, once
Mm-hmm.
you're that far deep into it, you had to just go with it. I mean, it
Yeah,
is what it
Yeah.
is.
that's where it
You
happens.
put in 40 hours to test that much, and you play that many games, and then all of a sudden Whimsicott becomes a thing. Just one deck that just hard counters you.
Yeah,
And it's a week before. You got to go with it,
the
maybe.
silver bullet from the Vampire Hunter just ends my entire dream.
Yeah, I told you the guy from my locals who just started, really playing. He was, we built his family's deck and everything like that. So, what are you gonna play? I don't know yet. I'm gonna look online and look for a few. He texts me and I send him a few places. I send him a few YouTubers and content creators. I send him the Limitless website, and he found Whimsicott and gravitated towards that. And I'm like, well, bro, you're about 4 months too late, but okay. And he's sticking with it. He's trying to make it work, but it's not working for him.
Yeah, it just doesn't have that same surprise power as it did during that little bit of a window of time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe someday it could pop its head back up, depending on where the
The
format
meta
goes over the next. Yeah, as long as it's relevant and standard, it might have a chance someday, but not at the current moment in time.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Whimsicott. Poor Fluffy Ball.
All right, let's do some stonkages. Stonks.
Well, I have one more question for
right.
Cal.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Cal. Just real quick, we were all just this is probably our first podcast because you're like one of our boys. We know you from a Twitch and everything. Hanging out in our streams. It's probably one of the few podcasts where we just feel like we're just talking and shooting the breeze. We talked a lot about Pokemon Go and some of the cards we're interested in. Do you feel like any cards from this set will make its way into Worlds, anything like that? Someone's gonna sneak something in, gonna make a surprise splash.
I think Blastoise can.
Wait, so you're a big fan of Venusaur?
Yeah, I don't know if Venusaur is great yet. I think it's a sleeper. I think it could be good.
Okay.
I'm unsure though. I
I'll give
know
you that.
Blastoise is good.
I was about to call you out so hard, man. And oh my gosh. Okay, I'll give you that.
I
But
don't
you
know
think
if
I see
Venusaur.
Blastoise?
I think
I mean, then
Blastoise
you have to choose between Blastoise or Greninja. And Stu,
it
given that
depends.
choice, what would you choose?
Between
I
Blastoise or
think
Greninja,
most decks will pick Greninja, but
Yeah.
I think Blastoise has a place in decks that are focused around Blastoise and Yoga Loop and like damage manipulation.
yeah, I would say in general, Greninja is just like the go-to for most decks. But if you can figure out where Blastoise is gonna go and like how to execute it flawlessly, I think it's probably like the perfect one for
Yeah.
whatever instance. Like
I don't
if
think
it didn't
Pokestops
say water energy, I could honestly see it being like the perfect Samurott partner. Like
Yeah,
if it just
I
said
think-
discard any energy like Greninja says and put 2 damage counters down, you would see that with Samurott, and Samurott would be solved.
Now, back in my day, Samurott used to be a water type Pokemon. I'm an older, Pokemon guy, but back in my day, it used to be a water type. Not this darkness.
Yeah, hello.
Hi,
Yeah, I cut out. Sorry.
you're good. I'll edit it out. It's fine.
But I had a good joke at that point.
I mean, I can get it taken care of. It's fine.
Okay, my joke has to be in there. And I need a laugh track in there too.
No. I have to make sure we don't get canceled first.
I think Blastoise is good because it's water though. Because you can just go like bucket, grab 2 waters, go like Blastoise, scoop up net Blastoise, and then Yoga Loop. So it
Yeah.
just combos really well.
Yeah, water honestly is like come from the back as like now it's like the best type to be.
Yeah.
So
I don't think water was that far off, was it? It wasn't far off. It was like maybe a top
You just do
five
Melanie
type.
with it.
yeah, we'll have to
We had three.
play it out. We have to play it out and figure out like the right list and the right methods and the right sauce. But it's definitely doable. It's obtainable. It can be done. It can be abused.
I don't think Poke sauce is bad. I think the Turbo decks can really use it.
Yeah, I don't know where that'll fit in ultimately too though. So
I don't think it's gonna pop in any Worlds decks, but it will be used somewhere. I mean, unless Sander comes up with something random, who knows?
Oh, also the Snorlax. I think Snorlax will find a way into.
Oh, you're right.
yeah, oh yeah,
With
block.
block,
Yeah,
block is back. Block.
yeah, block has always kind of been a big deal when it was relevant in format back in the day. And then like now this one has more HP. Yeah. It's got an attack that actually can attack versus, you know, plasma energy or whatever. Like we'll see what happens with Snorlax doing his
There will be a control deck with Snorlax most likely.
Yeah. Snorlax, maybe Pokestop, like you said.
Is just too good.
What's the loop now? It's Team Yell's cheer, and a
Silene,
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you can lock something active and then just like Silene Palpad loop the entire game.
Mm-hmm. That's gonna be a thing.
Yeah. That
I
might
see
itself in World.
It could even honestly be the same. He could honestly build almost the exact same list, and if he can figure out how to make block work perfectly in it, it's probably even better than it already is now.
Yeah.
So instead of the Snorlax that draws the cards, just put the Snorlax with block, and then just the exact same list.
Maybe.
Yep.
That could be that could be the sauce.
I'm sure Sander will find a way to make it work.
Yeah, no, he's definitely like one of the few big brains of control, so I definitely believe it'll happen. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody said control was dead this format, but then you turn around and see this past weekend what happened, and here we are.
And every YouTuber and content creator and streamer's been playing it too, so.
Mm-hmm. And they're loving it. I tried, listen, hear me out. I'm not trying to say, you know, I had the idea before, but I tried that, but I tried it with an Arceus build, and it did not work. I tried Arceus, and I tried, you know, the power up the Mewtwo, and I was like, hey, I can heal off damage when I need to, or I can, you know, drop, was it 16 damage counters whenever I feel like it? And it all seemed like such a good idea, and I went like 2 and 4, and I was like, nah. So I tried the Mewtwo VU, and it just didn't work out. Did we lose Cal?
No, yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
All right, there we go. Don't leave me like that. I get lonely when you leave. All right, Stu, I think you got some stonks for us, don't you?
Yeah. It's not really like buy this or don't buy this. Actually, it's a don't buy this. Don't buy into pre-sales. I hate having to give this speech every release on the pod. But don't buy into pre-sales. Don't pay.
Let me go get your soapbox real quick and turn on the music.
Don't pay $50 for Radiant Blastoise. Don't pay $150 for Alternate Art Mewtwo V. Don't pay for pre-sales. Give it a couple days. Give it a week. Wait for people to crack these packs. It doesn't come in a booster box, so it's gonna probably be a little bit slower than compared to, you know, Brilliant Stars and Astral Radiance. But just for the sake of stonks, don't make me make a YouTube video about like an overpriced V card or something. Don't make me do it. I don't want to do it. We've done it before. We've same song and dance. I don't just please don't buy pre-sale prices on TCGplayer.
This message brought to you by Steuben. No, Stu, I didn't. You said Blastoise is going for $50.
Yeah, there's on TCGplayer today. There's one for $50 as like the lowest listing. Like we've seen the Radiance come out of the, you know, Astral Radiance packs left and right. Give it some time. Give everybody a week. Let everybody crack these packs, and I'm sure it'll be a maybe $3 to $5 card depending on how the hype ends up being. Same with the Charizard. Maybe Charizard will be a little bit more. It's a shiny Charizard. It's always a big deal. It's always Charizard this, Charizard that. But just don't be an idiot. Don't overpay for these cards.
I like how blunt Frank you are. Just don't be an idiot. Okay, so for my end on stonks, and what this segment is, if anyone's just tuning in for the first time, we choose a couple cards that are either gonna we think we're like gonna spike in price, physically IRL, or playability wise as well. Subin didn't pick a certain card this time. Subin decided to go with just don't buy into the pre-releases. Just don't do it.
Buy product at
But,
MSRP if you really want it, but just don't buy a single card. Super crazy. So
yeah, wise words to live by. And you're exactly right. I made the mistake when Astro came out. I bought freaking Radiant Halucha because I thought that was gonna be a really good card, and I thought it would be hard to get your hands on. And it turns out some boxes get 2 or 3 Radiants a box. And that's not even the Radiant that I should have really went after. It was Radiant Greninja I should have been after.
and even then, it's like $3 the absolute worst end.
Mm-hmm.
So just not.
So I feel dumb about that one. But no, I'm gonna touch on the playability. I have a couple cards. One of them may shock you. The other one is gonna be like, no duh, Gazer, of course. One of them is DTE. I feel like we're gonna see a lot of decks that can really utilize double turbo energy coming up. The Zoroark, the Zoroark single prize deck that it's people try to make a thing that doesn't work.
Yeah, I think Zoroark's cool. I think it's very interesting going into this set with like Pokemon Go, especially with the Snorlax or Snorbro or whatever it's called.
Yeah, the slow
I think
bro.
that card is very interesting as well.
Yeah, the slow
That's slow
bro.
bro.
Yeah.
So I feel like just based off that and the fact that Slowbro comes out, even more V Pokemon can use that DT. I feel like DT is going to see we're going to see more decks with DT in it for whatever reason. I know Palkia is everywhere, but I feel like DT is going to come up out of nowhere for apparently. We're going to see the more decks. I feel like. And the other card, hear me out. This one's a little like the DT was like no duh Gazer. This was like Gazer for real. Cramomatic. I can see decks running Cramomatics now, just, getting rid of cards they don't need at any time. And if you get lucky, hey, you get whatever card you want from your deck. And I can see that partnered with the Pokestop Stadium,
I mean, because you're just getting items, though, and you're discarding everything else. Like, what if you discard the card that you want to search for?
That's like worst case scenario that happened.
I mean, law of averages, it's going to eventually.
That'd be so funny. Like, okay, if I get this cram, I can go get my my DTE. Oh, it's gone.
Yeah, there's no way to recur those at the current moment, really. So
we have Roseanne. Hello.
It's a supporter, though. Like,
yeah, I know. I feel like Cram's gonna see some place somewhere. It's in random decks. Well, not random decks, but just randomly in decks. I mean, so we'll see. I might be right. I might be wrong. I was right about Duraludon, so.
Art, well, like it's already feel like pretty popular, but like I feel like Arceus and Palkia are gonna go up just because the decks are so good. It's like it's powerful. Arceus's ability is probably like one of the best abilities like in the game by far by a long shot, and then Palkia is just so strong that I don't see the price dropping.
Yeah, I mean the prices of Arceus V-Star, like they dipped a little bit, but they're not like cheap by any means. Still, they're still like 20-ish something, I think, at bare minimum.
We talked about this before. That's probably the one card that won't see a dip in price until it rotates out.
Yeah.
That card's gonna see a lot of play, so
I think that was the biggest dip that we're seeing. Like it was the card is so good. And like maybe my sleeper one would be Darkrai V-Star. I don't think Darkrai V-Star is too bad. Like I think there's like decks and ways to get it going, and being able to grab 3 items out of your discard at any point in the game is pretty good.
It's 2. It's just for 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
There you go, Stephen. Dark Ride.
I'm gonna
Dark
try.
Ride main.
Are you changing your mind about Dark Ride now,
No,
Stu? Are you
no,
gonna
no,
leave?
no. I'm trying to work on a different list and try different things, but I still like it. I think
Are
it
you
can.
liking the wheezing in it?
No,
Wheezing or no?
I haven't played with the wheezing yet. I want to try it, but I haven't. But it only counts the energy on the wheezing itself. It doesn't count all of your energy, so it only counts energy on the wheezings.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like
Yep.
that's the thing. It sucks is like if you don't go crazy hard, it only doubles like 2 or 3 energy total. Like you could just have more everywhere else if you focus your list more consistently instead of having to worry about evolving into a stage 1 that just has to sit there.
Do you think you need to add maybe a second baby Moltres instead?
I've already done that for sure. Yeah, I haven't got to play with it yet. I saw Israel Sosa's list, and he whiffed.
Oh, dirty.
He whiffed the winning in for day 2 at NAIC. So I'm gonna try his list out and see how it feels.
You said he whiffed it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he whiffed the winning in, yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. I don't think Blissy's too bad either, currently in the format. I think that Blissy's like one of those decks where it's like it can be teched against, but like when it's not teched against, it can just like overpower decks. And like some decks that just can't hit the mill tank, just like they just fold.
Yeah, they can't hit it. They can't get anything up. And meanwhile, the Bliss is building up, and by the time Bliss is there, it's just one shot and stuff. It can be a problem, and we've seen that. We've seen that in Milwaukee. It can be a problem.
Yeah.
If you're unprepared for it, if you just don't have the right cards at the time, if you don't have the boss's orders at the right time, if you don't have a escape rope at the right time.
Or if they
I do love to see though. I love to see decks when they charge up a freaking barrel and they're like, okay, I'm gonna attack with a barrel. I love to see that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done it before too. We've all been there, but I mean, it's think about how desperate you have to be. Like, okay, I'm gonna attack with a barrel and flip this coin. Here we go.
Yeah, and if you get heads, they can just hyper pot and then catch a DTE and then just wipe away all the damage you just did.
And you're like, well, nothing happened.
Oh yeah, that's always super rough if they have it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do some Q&A. We only got a couple so far. So if you're curious as to where these questions come from, we are live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Steuben, ST00BEN. Sometimes we'll be on Gazer's channel if and when he gets this new computer.
It's coming. It's gonna be here one day.
But yeah, we have some Q&A questions from the chat. This one's from Bags. Why is Mewtwo V Union the BDIF?
I think that I don't think Mewtwo V Union is the BDIF. I think it's very strong, and I think that nobody really knew what the deck was trying to do at NAIC. So like you can catch a lot of people off guard with it when like you try to beat it with like different tactics. Like I think most like stall decks usually try to Eldegoss like loop you. So like when they don't drop the Eldegoss and you're sitting there like waiting for it, and it just never happens, and then they start pal padding and then like side leaning, you're like, what is happening?
I guess that's true too. It could throw someone off. When I was watching it unfold, and someone mentioned like, oh, Mewtwo V, and I already like, because I messed around with it earlier. I already knew it was, like, oh, you're gonna do this, and I kind of had an idea. But the Silene and the Yale chair kind of threw me for a loop. I was like, oh wow, that's great. But I already knew what the plan was with the Mewtwo. But it can if it catch you off guard, it can catch you. It can really take you aback.
Yeah, if they get that Mewtwo rolling and it's like the only Pokemon on board, they hit you, you just heal 200, you heal 200, you heal 200, and you keep doing your loop. Like it on paper, it's solid. I mean, it was probably the best deck in the tournament for NAIC, but I don't think it was like I don't think it's the best deck in the format. It's definitely like up there, like tier 2, probably.
Yeah, maybe. I'll give you that.
Because I mean, it was the only like shocker, only shocker deck really. And like, yeah, sure, some decks can one shot it, but can you also avoid all the hammers and the disruption and everything else at the same time?
And they recover their hammers with the Silene and get more hammers. And do you have enough energy to outlast it? I was watching Azul on stream a couple days ago or yesterday, and he was playing it. And he was playing against the Duraludon. And the Duraludon, can tank damage and can deal damage, 220. And it's more than, Mewtwo could heal off. So eventually, the map should add up to you do well, right? But Azul would just grab a hammer, and then he'd flip the tails, but he'll silent one back and then get another hammer. And eventually, Duraludon just ran out of fighting energy, and there's nothing they could do about it. So they're just sitting there like, now what? You know?
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's just better in the hands of better players at that point in time. Like from what everyone's said and what everyone's seen, like it's been all over the ladder on PTCGO, but like can even half of those players play it right? And I know that sounds awful of me to say it, but like that's
It's
not a
true.
deck that anybody can just pick up and play by any
It's
means.
true. You have a fast car, but can you drive it? You have a jet, but who's the
Mhm.
pilot? Can you pilot this deck? Yeah. I mean, stupid. If I gave you
Yeah, with
Gengar
decks like that,
Mimikyu,
I
how
think
well do you think you would do
fighting
with it?
factor.
Throw it in the garbage can, Gazer.
Okay, moving on to the next question. Our buddy
Mhm.
Drago, the Forkhead, he says, from the leaks so far, how do you feel about the next set, the Lost Zone stuff? The next set looks fun. I'm excited for the Lost Zone to return because it's basically the Pokemon version of a graveyard deck. So,
Mhm.
long question short. What do you guys think about the Lost Zone? About what we've seen from a Lost Origin so far?
It's
I
weird
think
how
it's
they
really
go ahead.
cool.
You're
I
good.
used,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. I think it's really cool. I used to play back in the day when like they did Lost Zone and there was like lost removers and like the Lost Zone was like implemented like a lot into the game. So I think it's really cool that they're bringing back past things that like used to be like very popular in the TCG.
Yeah, I mean they brought it back in
Briefly, right?
yeah with Sun and Moon a little bit with like Lost March and stuff like that, Lost Blender and all that kind of stuff. The Prism Stars going to the Lost Zone afterwards to remove them from play. I mean,
Mhm.
who knows if they'll continue it again? Like it might be a one set wonder kind of thing. Um,
We've got a whole set named after it, so I don't know. I mean, well,
yeah,
it has Lost in the name.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
When we got the other stuff from Sun and Moon. We had what, two sets with it,
ish.
or was it three? Maybe it was three.
I
But yeah,
mean,
none of those had Lost. You know what? Well, there was Thunder, huh? Never mind. Well, yeah, okay, never mind. I retract my statement.
they
They
had a
have
couple
had
cards
sets, yeah,
sprinkle through. Like they gave you there were a lot of it in Lost Thunder, and then
yeah.
like throughout the remaining little bit of that block, they gave like one or two cards per set. Like eventually they gave that Cottony, the Whimsicott, the fairy type ones. They printed them with Lost March, but it never made a difference or anything. Like
Mm-hmm.
so too far, too late, most likely in most of those
And,
situations.
and I feel like that'll be the case here. This one set mainly focused on it. Then we'll get bits and pieces here and there. I was trying
Yeah,
to think of yeah, now yeah, Lost, yeah,
because I mean,
Lost Thunder was
technically,
a whole set.
this is going to be what the 11th Sword and Shield set. So technically, there's only
One, two,
one
three,
more
four,
afterwards.
8, 9, 10,
So where does it all wrap up? Because I mean,
11th.
We're gonna get Scarlet Violet probably February or January or something like that. So they'll be moving
We're not
on
gonna get a set for
to
that though, are we? We won't get that set too. Oh,
February or
let's see.
whatever. Yeah,
Because
whatever our
Scarlet Violet's coming out what, November? So yeah, you're right. It
no,
might be.
it
Yeah,
won't come out in November. It'll come out in February most likely.
I'm talking about
Closer.
the actual video game.
The video game comes out in November. Yeah,
November, right? So yeah, so
yeah,
probably come out
yeah,
like January, because that's what Sword and Shield did the same thing. Sword and Shield dropped in what, November, and then the set came out that January, February. Yeah,
yeah.
you might be right.
So who knows what'll happen with the Lost Zone and Lost Origin and whatnot. We haven't seen everything yet from Japan, but I mean, Giratina definitely looks to be a good contender in the format for sure. It's not a matter of it being good. It's a matter of like who's gonna break it and like what becomes the norm for it.
That
Mm-hmm.
that V Star attack. If you what is it? You have to have 10 cards in the Lost Zone, automatic knockout. Is that right?
I think something similar to that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's gonna be pretty good. And then the regular attack, Lost Zone 2 energy, and then just hit for a 280. So now we're one shotting V Stars.
You put a belt
With
on it. You hit 310. That's the magic Mew number.
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Take out Mew, you take out what, Jolteon, maybe? I don't what else has 300 HP? Other V maxes have 300 HP. Weak V maxes.
Every V star.
Yeah, you take out every V Star, no problem.
Yeah, you take out every V star.
Every star would have charm. You one shot.
Yeah.
Mhm. I can see being a thing. I think that Stadium is gonna be a major. The one that instead of putting him in the discard pile when you knock him out, put him in the Lost Zone.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine you have your Palkia active, and you have a couple energy on it. You haven't used your V Star yet, but you're saving it for next turn. And then the Giratina comes out, and they bunch the stadium, and they hit you for 280. Palkia is gone, and now it's in the loss zone.
Mm-hmm.
And now that
what's
just gone.
what's the Pokemon that has the ability where it's like, oh, when you take your prizes, they go to the lost zone instead?
Oh, Barbardicle.
Yeah, oh yeah, Barbicle. Yeah, that's insane. That's kind of scary. If they set that thing up and you start taking prize cards, you don't get anything.
Well, when the next set comes out, I got to stop playing Reggie, because imagine that Barbarical out there, and then I take a prize. Okay, I prize my Reggie Gigas. Let me up. It's gone.
You're gonna have to be playing a lot more Hisuian Heavy Ball.
I need it now.
Get those things out of there while you can.
Exactly.
Peonia stonks, I guess, at that point too.
I need them right now. Hurry. Oh man. Yeah, I think that wraps it up. That's everything in our little itinerary here. Is that correct, Stu?
Yeah, we've done everything. So now basically at this point in time, the floor is yours, Cal. You can shout out anybody you want. Tell the people where they can find you. Have at it.
Yeah, I'll shout out the Shuffle Squad and all my teammates and stuff, and all like supporting me throughout these tournaments and stuff, and like all my friends, because like I came back to the game relatively like not too long ago, and like hanging out and seeing all my friends every event has like been like really one of like the best parts of like the events. And then if anyone wants to find me on Twitter, I'm at Calvin Connor 12. I post on Twitter occasionally. It's usually only about Pokemon stuff though, but I'll shout out my family and my girlfriend.
There you go, right on. Can't do it without them.
Don't forget that one time you were in the Games of Eternity of Dreams too.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'll shout out the Gazer Beam tournaments as well.
Let's go. We got the Cal Connor official stamp.
That felt so forced. That felt so forced.
The best tournaments out there. The Gazer Beam tournaments.
Cal hopped in the tournament.
He's gonna clip this and just like play it over and over in his head now.
My headphones just listening. Just Cal. No, when Cal hopped in the tournament, he played really well in that tournament. I started realizing who we were. I'm like, oh, he's good. I'm like, oh, he's really good. I was like, oh wow, he's good. And then I was seeing other streams and stuff like that, and you had my back, man. I would get timed out in various other streams for no apparent reason. Just walk into a stream and get timed out, and they're like, hey, Gazer's a good guy. Leave him alone. I'm like, oh, Cal, thanks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I appreciate you for that, man. Real quick before we wrap this up, Steuben, congratulations. You got to meet the real Sunny Games. You got to meet John. What was he like in real life? How much hair does he really have on top of his head?
He's got what you see around the sides. No, we hung out for a few hours and did community day, and we ate barbecue. He joined Emily and I for lunch. So it was a good time. The barbecue was really good. It's weird because like he and I have been very close online over the past year and a half, that like we just clicked IRL too, like nothing different. Up, and he's like, oh, wow, and then he said it in his stream the other night. It's like, yeah, Steuben's actually normal in person compared to how he is. Because I mean, I go into a stream and just say like the most ridiculous stuff.
Yeah, I expect that from you. What was he expecting?
For me to be like that IRL, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's. I don't walk around and say like stupid stuff like that in person. Come on, I can't do that to myself.
A reputation to live with. Okay.
Yeah, I can harass him in his stream, and that's fine. I can harass you in yours. That's fine. No one else knows about that other than the people that are there. So we're Gucci.
But no, when I saw that picture, I was so jealous. I'm like, ooh. I felt like that Squidward meme again, where I'm like looking out the window and you and Sunny are running around outside. I'm like, I want to run outside with Steuben and Sunny. Nobody clipped this, by the way. That didn't sound right. Taken out of context, that's going to sound so bad, isn't it?
And you've dug your own grave twice tonight.
That's why we have you for editing. This is perfect. This is.
Anyways, let's get on out of here.
Cal,
thank you guys for listening.
Thank you so much, Calvin.
Thank you for joining us, Cal. Much appreciated. Good luck at Worlds. Knock them dead. Don't kill anybody. That's but knock them out. Take those prize cards. Gazer, stop while you're ahead.
People have been killed by Calvin Connor. He knocked them dead.
I have to. I gotta edit that out now too. Oh my god.
Come on, this is funny. All right. No, Cal, man, thank you so much for everything, man, for the interview.
Mhm.
Hopefully, yeah, you do really well at Worlds. I'll be watching on your Twitter account, waiting for your post. Like, come on, Cal, do it, do it, do it. Yeah, man, congrats on that invite and everything else. Stu, I think we're done here, aren't we?
Yeah, let's skadoosh until next week. But that's it from us here at the Gust podcast. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, don't forget to leave us a review. It really helps push this out there. If you're watching this later on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know if you like what we do. Also, you could buy some merch to help pay for Gazer's inevitable travel for regionals next season.
I'm going to Texas.
Links in the descriptions on all the episode platforms and the YouTube video. And as always, if you ever want to catch us live and ask the questions that we ask in the chat on Twitch, come hang out with us both on Twitch, twitch.tv/stupid or twitch.tv/gazerbeam2k. He'll host it again eventually. We'll get there. But in time. That'll do it from us. Again, a big shout out to Cal for joining us. Yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Take it easy. Peace.
Peace. We're out.